So while the baseball field was engulfed in yellow tape and evidence and Congressman Scalise was in surgery, some wasted no time rushing to politicize the tragedy that happened this morning. Case in point, Democratic Governor of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe, near the scene. Watch.
We need to do more to protect all of our citizens. I have long advocated, this is not what today is about, but there are too many guns on the street.
Governor, can you tell the people who live around here that there's not another person involved? It's just this one shooter?
At this time.
Well, I'm talk about this every single day. This is a very serious issue.
Joining me now, Dana Lash, host of Dana on Blaze TV and the NRA spokesperson on the Congressional baseball shooting. And Mark Glaze is senior advisor to Guns Down and the former executive director of Everytown, the nation's largest gun safety group. So, I mean, you could almost count the minutes after this happened that this discussion would begin about where he got his gun, why he would have that kind of gun. And then, you know, the people who jumped in to stop him, who, thank God, were armed and were on the scene. As you watch Terry McAuliffe, Dana, what do you think?
Well, first and foremost, obviously, our prayers are with the Congressman Scalise and those individuals who were wounded in this attempted political assassination. And bravo to the Capitol Hill Police who, you know, as you heard other congressional members say, if Representative Scalise had not been on that field with those two officers who are afforded to him as a perk of being a member of leadership there in the Republican Party in the House, they would have been sitting ducks. All they would have had were their gloves and their baseball bats with which to defend themselves, which seems, it's amazing to me. This isn't a gun issue. The good guys saved the day. Guns save lives. That's what the story proved. Right. But furthermore, this isn't an issue, Martha, about firearms. This is an issue about rhetoric. Martha, this is an issue about a guy who has been feeding off the poison that has been coming from comedians and Shakespeare plays of assassinating presidents that are playing in the park. This has been coming from vitriolic rhetoric from the DNC chair and from the California Democrat Party who say blank the Republicans, they don't care about you. And individuals like this feed off of this poison. And what's the result? The result is that these four individuals, their lives were, or five individuals now, they were affected by this, and we could have lost a loyal public servant, husband, and father.
Mark Glaze, your thoughts?
Well, you know, politics may have had something to do with what happened today. But for context, in San Francisco today, 4 people were killed at a U.S. Postal Service facility or a UPS facility. Tomorrow, 93 more Americans are going to be killed with guns, and the next day and the next day. And by the way that people in the United Kingdom do politics makes it look like patty cake here in America. But we have 25 times the gun murder rate of people in every other Western country, and the reason is we will give guns to just about anybody. We have to address that.
Dana, what do you say to that? The laws in Virginia are fairly loose in terms of needing a permit to carry a gun. Is that, you know, I know you don't think that's a legitimate argument, so tell us why.
No, I would obviously have to disagree with those statements. And first off, I think it's kind of silly to compare us to the UK, specifically because they also classify crimes differently, and we can get into the weeds all day on that. And I welcome all debate on that, and I'll be there anytime, anywhere. But with that point, what happened in San Francisco is also awful. But I want to point out that the CDC report commissioned by former President Obama in 2013 just proved what we all knew, is that defensive gun use by law-abiding Americans, Martha, greatly outweighs criminal abuses. I definitely don't want anyone to be made a sitting duck just because the only argument is that a criminal may abuse something that they have every right to possess. Guns save lives, and guns saved the lives in Alexandria.
Well, we heard from Brad Wenstrup, who said that he felt like he was in Iraq without his gun out there on that field. Hold on, Dana. And I also want to put up a quote from Steve Scalise, who spoke out back in 2012 on gun control after the Gabby Giffords incident. He said gun control won't stop bad people from doing bad things. Rather, it will only hurt people who play by the rules. That's from Steve Scalise himself. Mark, final comment.
Yeah, last year and just about every year in America, we have somewhere around 32,000 gun murders, and we have about 214 justifiable homicides. Everybody sort of knows that there's a public health epidemic around guns, and you know we throw out this claim that self-defense.
What's the number for how many people's lives are saved by someone who steps in with a gun?
Well, we don't know. Part of the reason is the NRA won't let us do the research.
That's a lie. That's an absolute lie.
Go ahead, Dana, really quick.
report commissioned in 2013 proved it was anywhere from 2.1, actually 500,000 to 2.3 million instances annually. So don't lie and say that the NRA stood in the way of that. It disrupts your narrative, and you refuse to acknowledge it. And at the same time, you had the audacity to claim that you're for gun safety.
Well, we just saw, we just spoke to a congressman who was there today who believes that at least 15 lives were saved by the guns that were held by the Capitol Police and the skill that they had to use them. So we got to leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you.